Hi Year 6, so we're going to start a new project today, and I was just having a think about what you've covered in Year 6 for art. So you've done sculpture in people, then we've gone on to animals with observational drawing, and then obviously with the school closure we went on to pop art. So I had a think and I realised that you haven't really done anything on natural plants, trees, those kind of elements. So I thought we'd have a focus on that for this last half term. I've focused this topic on Claude Monet. You might recognise his name, I kind of hope you do. He's quite famous. And he did, one of the most famous pieces of work that he did was water lilies, and he painted lots of different styles of water lilies. But he was an impressionist, which you'll find out more about in the videos that I've linked on for you. And he didn't draw it perfectly. He drew an impression of what he saw as an artist, and I thought that would be a nice way to look at this subject. So we don't have to be precise, but we do need to give an impression, hence the word, of what we see. And we're going to work through this in the last few weeks. Today is all about creating an information page on Monet, so we understand a bit more about who he's about and how he created his work and what his influences were. So I'll take you through the stages of how we create our information page. We have done this quite a few times now, so I am not going to complete my page. I'm going to complete half of it for you, and then I'd like to see you do the other half, showing me that you have watched the videos, that you can take on the information, and that you can give your own opinion with the information, because that is key. We're trying to be individual artists now, and I'd like to see more from you to show me your creativity. Right, so I've just drawn out my Monet title on my page, popping it in the centre. I'm now going to start the writing. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. I might make it a little bit like a kind of soft bubble, and then I'm probably going to add some nice colour to it, because Monet was all about layers of colour basically. I'm then going to add in my arrows. We're going to aim for at least 10, but preferably more. And one thing, when you add your arrows, try and add your arrows at different heights, because then it gives you the opportunity to, for example, if we had an arrow here, you could write that fact there. But if you had an arrow there that was higher, you could write that fact up higher. It just means that you can spread out your information better and add in the facts clearly without having to squish them in the page. So here is my styled title. So I've just kind of done a loose bubble around the Monet to make it look quite soft, quite gentle. And then I've added up my arrows, as I said, different heights, so I can spread out my information clearly. When I've completed my facts, I'm going to then add in some details around the edges using Monet as inspiration. As we've always talked about with sketchbook pages, it's really important to fill the page and complete the page and not look like it's half finished or nearly finished. Okay, so I've just added in some facts from the videos. There are so many pieces of information in both videos, so do what you can. As I've been working, I'll talk you through my key facts I've added in, but as I've been working, I've added on extra arrows. So I've got up here, he painted the whole picture outdoors. As we know, that was very unusual, because normally they'd paint it inside but sketch it outside. He was an impressionist, and I've added on arrows to the arrows because it's things I found out. So he was the master of impressionism. It was a new method that was not liked by everyone. So if you find you've added in a fact but you want to expand on it, please do. That's how these information pages become more personal and more interesting. He was born in 1840 and died in 1926. He was French and created characters at 16 years old. Again, extra arrow here, born in Paris. He lied about the length of time to make a piece of work to get publicity. And then extra arrow here, it was a picture of his muse Camille. He struggled financially, and he was also inspired by William Turner. Now, as I've talked about, I have not done the other half because I want you to add in those facts yourselves. It's really important, like I keep saying, for me to show me that your knowledge, your creativity, what you've thought of, what you have found interesting to add onto your map. And now I'm going to finish off this piece of work with adding some colour to the Monet. And I think I might add in some water lilies or some natural images of his here, just around the edges. To get the natural images, pause the videos on an image that you find is interesting. Try and focus on nature if you can, don't have to, but we are going to focus on nature. So if you can use that, that would be a better way to link the project together. and then I'll show you when it's finished. Okay, so I just finished this off. As I said, I've done this half. Please make sure you complete the whole page. I've styled the title with a bit of colour. I've done use some swirling technique to kind of give an impression of his natural images. I've then added in a little sketch of the bridge there with some colour and the water lilies here. So these are just quick sketches, again giving an impression of his style of work, but it does complete the page. As you can see, if you look at this side here compared to this side, the contrast of how full and interesting it looks when you've added in your information and your words, it does give great impact. So just be aware of that when you're working. You want every page to have impact and to be interesting. You want people to stop and read or look at what you've done. That is the aim of an artist. They want to make people look at their work. So make sure that when you're working on your information page, make sure it's interesting as well. Upload to Teams, please, as always, and I will feed back. And I hope you enjoyed learning about a different style of art.